Good evening. My name is Robert Stone. I'm the chair of the Underhill Selectboard. Today is the 20th of November. I'm going to call the special select board meeting to order. We are at the Underhill Town Garage at 77 New Road. This meeting is in person and remote. We have an agenda that has been prepared and proper notice was given. Brad, any changes, amendments to the agenda?
So,
does anybody have any changes, or we can't add or change anything to the special meeting, right?
I'd just like to say a couple things in regards to the front porch forum post that was on tonight. This was not an unannounced meeting. This is a special meeting. A special meeting means that it's a meeting outside of our regular scheduled meeting schedule, so which is the second and the fourth Thursdays of the month. So this meeting there was notification of this meeting at the last meeting, our last regular meeting, which appeared on Front Porch. Also our, please take a seat because the chair's over here. The meeting was published in three public places on our website. And if you look on the select board page, it states that special meetings are not published on Front Porch Forum because I only have so many posts. So in essence of saving posts, only regular meetings. So special meetings, nothing can be added to the agenda. We would never have a public forum, like a hearing at a special meeting. They would always be on a regular meeting like last time. However, public comment, this is a public meeting, and public comment period is 5 minutes in the beginning. So, thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Brad. So we are at that point where we can have the beginning opening public comment period. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public comment?
How do I in terms of microphone?
Well, you just come up here a little,
Come on over,
right here. And I think you'll be fine. You just.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
They
you.
will be able to, yeah.
All right. Thank you. David Demarest, FV111 and R144 before that. Two different things. One, when it comes to lighting Tomasi Meadow, it is worth protecting our dark sky for everyone that can see, which begs the question why conserved land should be lit up only for those that ski. Regarding the topic of the FU lot code abbreviation, I welcome the new select board members to avoid the sunk cost fallacy connected to the trellis change of my parcel code from NR 144 to FU 111. Given the history, I see no difference between FU or FD for Dave or Demarest, or perhaps the last letter of the word road. I would be profoundly grateful if the select board chose to do the right thing for Town Highway 26 abutters, and also to allow my lot code to be what it was when I built my home on the old dump road over 23 years ago.
Thank you. Your comment will be recorded.
David, can you repeat what the old road name was again?
NR 144.
NR,
Yeah,
okay.
New Road 144.
Oh, new.
That was
there
the
we go.
entire road.
Thank you.
Although the road had been there since the 1800s, so New Road was inherently deceptive when the whole town knew it as a dump road. So that was another part of the legacy of prior select boards.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
I don't see anybody else here.
Peter Davis is online. I don't know if you have anything to say. This would be your only opportunity to speak.
The closing public comment.
Yes, too.
No comment.
Thank you.
All right. We got that done. Next on the agenda is the highway supervisor items and update. Russ is here. And before you get started, thank you for hosting us here tonight. I think it's important for the board to come here. I'd like to come here more often, but it's important that we come at least once a year. And thanks for hosting us here tonight.
Absolutely. We appreciate the opportunity to host the meeting here. Gave us a chance to sweep the floor and, wipe the bench down and clean the toilet.
Everything looks great.
Might find a tool that you had misplaced.
Right. But, no, I think it's great, and welcome all of you here. First thing on my section is it's time again, our yearly time to order our, what I call our blacktop plow blades, which are the rubber blade with the carbide insert. We have put the new set on the truck, and it's nice to have a spare set. It's on Scott's truck, which is on the end of the shop. And I'd like to show you folks too, while you're here, during maybe after, what these blades actually look like, and how they operate. But it's time to have another set back in inventory. So if something does happen during a storm, we'll have replacement pieces to install. Viking Surveys in Williston is the only vendor where we can purchase these in our area. I did last year. I did try to get other pricing, but they are protected commodity, so they are the only vendor. But these blades work fantastic on blacktop. They scrape much better. Allows us to use less salt, and they're quiet. They're not like a steel running down blacktop. It's the rubber, just keeps it nice and smooth. I did have the opportunity the other night. Scott was out at his granddaughter's birthday party in Burlington, or South Burlington, and I had to come in and do a little bit of work on the valley, and first time I ever plowed with that plow, and it was really nice. So we do need to purchase those blades. So I thought I had done a recommended.
So I'm going to move that we spend up to $3,000 for the purchase of the special blades that were recommended in the packet. Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of spending up to $3,000 for the special blades as presented in the packet, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay.
So the next thing is going to take a little bit explaining to you folks of what we're looking to purchase. And I'm glad we're here tonight, because it's really would be a good thing to, I don't know if we can actually pause for a minute and look at what I'm wanted to kind of demonstrate why we're looking to purchase this. I think it would really help the visual to see the need for this.
Sure. We leave this running, walk over. I can't bring the camera, but
I can explain it first, and then we can just take a look. But
sure.
So when we only like to put wings on the truck and take them off once a year. That's ideal. We put them on in the fall, take them off in the spring. However, if we have a truck go down and it needs to go in for service work, they require us to remove the wing. Because if you think about a technician that's going to climb over, back and forth over a wing to do their job is not, we're talking the side plow, is not very handy. So they do ask us to remove the wings when we bring them in for any kind of front end work, and which did happen. We just got everything on, and we had to bring Scott's truck down for service. I take it off, and putting them on and taking them off is a big job. It may not seem like a big job to some, but it's a big job because they're heavy, they're bulky, and they're awkward, and they have knuckles on them, so things are moving and so on. But it'd be so much easier to show you folks. But this cart allows us to remove and reinstall the wings without having to use manual labor to lift these arms and so on to get them on and off the truck. And
It didn't occur to me that you could use manual labor to pick up something.
well, it's a struggle. It really is. So yeah. I think now that you can kind of see of the diagram of the unit, and then if we look at a truck, you actually kind of see how it would work. So if we want to go over to a truck, would you take a look? That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to go by.
Look at my truck first. So currently what we would do is use the bucket loader, hitch a chain here to the bucket, bring the wings up to the side of the truck, get the front pin in. And then these arms here, so there's an upper arm, a lower arm, then you got this cylinder here. This is what lifts and lowers the wing up and down. Well, either there's knuckles here, there's knuckles here, and everything is flimsy and moving. So because it's so, you can't get close enough to the truck or the unit to lift the chains. If you do, your chances of breaking a mirror, or so if you lift up on this, so now you can take these off by pulling this pin right here, and this stays all attached. And then you pull that pin and you put this jack underneath, right underneath the arm, along around the bottom arm. And then this whole assembly here will slide up, kind of like hooks like this. And this assembly will pick up. And then with wheels on it, somebody pulling a wing, you just pull it back. And then you can roll this right out there in the truck. And then you can unpin the front and you back out. And then when you come back in, drive in, you can pin the front, get this back around, slid over, lined up, lower down, and it sets back down in its cradle. Back in, it's gonna go, closes, and there we go.
So the cart is only looking at one end,
It's lifting up right here.
so this end remains on the ground.
And it's just lifting the arm,
And then does the cart then stabilize the two
arms.
joints?
That, take that off and the whole thing's floppy.
It's floppy. Now, if you go down to the last day, you'll see the wing that is off and across the truck.
Right, perfect.
Oh, okay, goodbye.
All kinds of.
I told the plow, this is like a playground.
Yeah, see how that goes all around? Just rolls like that.
That was really fun.
Without that, we usually will take rolls down and do one at a time. But everything's so, it's gonna be so movable. So when we put it in a next truck, chains slip, the whole thing fell, like works on the big head. And then we put this one off, we get it up and out, and then again, so we put a jack underneath it. It nudges it up. And once it got out there, it go over, just. You know, such a chance of injury. This, yeah, on a normal, we like to put on the wall. Even in those signs, it's nice to go around. That's what it is. Very short. Probably the base is probably the tripod, so it should be wheels. So we're here. That's.
It was very, yeah. So,
They're the same thing, probably. And we put that in, like, make one, like. Currently got a client, $1.
the cost of one worker's compensation certainly comes with tricks.
There.
So what, for the record, I did show the board, how a wing is mounted to a truck, and then showed them one that we had take off for a truck that's in the shop currently for repairs. And, I think they got a good idea of what this tool would be utilized for.
Is this a proprietary type of tool? Like
Yes.
if we went with a different snow plow type of thing other than Viking, would we be able to use this for something else, or would we have to consider getting a different tool for a different plow setup?
From my recollection from the truck business, I don't believe the other manufacturers have that style of taking off. I think it's just you got to unbolt and take arms off. So I think it's proprietary to Viking surveys is what we have.
And all of our plows are Viking, correct?
Correct.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to move that we purchase one of these and spend up to $1,500 to purchase one of these plow support carts as recommended in the packet. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Isn't it 1,065?
Yeah, I said up to.
Oh, up to.
So if there's anything surprise,
Yes.
I
surprise.
just got the
Sure.
price a week ago, so it should be.
Is there any further discussion?
I think this seems like it is safer, more efficient, and more effective, and the price for doing all three of those things is very reasonable. I think that's a great purchase.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of the purchase of a wing plow support cart up to $1,500, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate your support. The guys will too.
Thanks for parking everything so close together.
Yeah, that must
I
save a lot of
appreciate that.
time too.
It will.
Knuckles.
Time is
Knuckles,
money.
Toes, everything.
That's right. The reason why you wear steel toe.
That's right.
All right, we are 2 minutes overdue on our schedule, but we're going to make it up now. We are going to review the fiscal year 27 proposed budget version number 2. Jennifer, I don't think is going to be able to join us tonight.
Correct.
She's not. So you have that information before you, I believe.
We could just go over, so the new version 2 is in the pink, the light pink, if that showed up well enough on your. So I worked with Jennifer and we added some numbers, mostly based on appropriations. We did look at, I'm just going to skip around. I'm not going to go down like line by line. I was just going to hit some of the highlights that we talked about. So we talked about, we have 3 computers in the office that were purchased in 2020 with the Elder grant. Remember that was during COVID, the Elder grant, I think it was called. And that's just when I kind of started and then left and came back. But all of our computers were ordered through a grant program, basically because everybody was going remote. So we got all got new laptops. 3 of them have not been able to be upgraded to Windows 11. So Windows 10 is no longer being supported. But we tried to get my computer, Sherry's computer, and Amanda's computer upgraded to Windows 11. Didn't happen. Couldn't happen. We just didn't have enough. We didn't have enough storage. There wasn't enough storage in the C drive to do it, because our emails take up a lot of space, and they have to. Even though our emails are on the cloud, they take up a lot of space on the C drive because they're all indexed in there for faster viewing. So we plugged in. Jennifer got a new laptop roughly around 6 months ago. So we plugged that number in for 3 laptops starting in July, which is fine, I think, because we had Tech Group for $60 a piece. They got us an extension, update extension. So we're safe until for a year. So we added 3 in for the 3 new laptops. And I think that came out to roughly 15 not even 15,000, maybe 12,000. We did add up all the, we tried to do a little bit better job going through our software, like Tech Group, and what our IT costs are, and the subscription for NEMRIC, which is how we keep track of all our books and all our taxes and everything. So we tuned in that number because last fiscal year it was a little higher. We had budgeted in going to the cloud with our server, which we still is in this fiscal year, which we'll do, but we don't have to incur that expense next year. So I think that 50,000 is pretty close in technical expenditures on 117. We did go through and add up the, and again, I'm just jumping around here. We added up the numbers for the speed signs. So I guess that would be, yeah, let's see, public safety. That's not too far down the line here, I don't think.
146.
Yeah, 146. So basically that 11 grand you see there is for the subscription. So we now have 6 signs. 6 signs that all require the cloud package, because we decided after our theft that it's really good to have the cloud package. Does a couple of things. We can track speed. We can relay that information to the sheriff. If we have problem cases, we have that portable unit. We can move around. If somebody's complaining about speeding, we can move that over there, collect some data. And then if it gets vandalized, we can take photographs. So the question is, do we want to purchase any more new signs? And my feeling is, I think we should be we should be monitoring the signs we currently have and see if we can get you some ongoing reports in every regular meeting, so you kind of know what's going on. 6 signs is a lot to manage, I think. I look around at Cambridge, I don't see 6 signs. Jericho, they probably have about 6 maybe. So that's what I'd recommend for this year. Maybe take a year off of the signs and
Utilize the data that we're getting.
yeah, and then see,
Analyze that.
go from
Yeah.
there,
I think that makes sense.
Because we already have numbers in the budget for whatever data
For the
requirements.
subscription, yeah. So that's what's in there right now. And there may be may want to bump it up like $1,000 or something. Say we need a battery or something for
What number is that?
That's 146 traffic calming. But I know Jennifer has just one thing Jennifer and I went over. And then of course we have the Chittenden County Sheriff's. We decided that you were going to consider bumping that to 20 hours a week. So we're still waiting on some information from that. Just going down the line, Essex Rescue, that's been set. The fire department, we're going to be meeting. Maureen couldn't make it. At last meeting, we decided that Shara and Maureen were going to go. Maureen's got a conflict. I asked her if she was okay with, and Patty's going to substitute with
thank you.
Shara.
You're welcome.
We'll meet with Todd Fisher and 2 members of the Jericho Selectboard on Monday, the 24th at 6:30 at the fire station.
Nice.
So
Thanks for taking that on. You
We'll
were very
see.
insightful last year.
no,
See if I can pull it off
Bob
again.
has any
Pull it off
Bob has
again.
any insight whether the budget will be increased much or not, or we'll just wait and see what we see, I guess. Monday.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna raise too many eyebrows.
No big surprises. Okay.
Maybe yours, but
I'll have a question. I always have questions.
it's all right. You have all you want. We're not charged with a question.
Just getting down through.
It was I just found it and I just lost it, Brad. It was the Energy Committee. We budgeted on item 182.
Okay.
They haven't spent any money.
No, they don't do a lot of, we did, a few years back, we purchased a blower door tester, and I think they've utilized that several times. They can't come and do a certification for somebody for like for an energy certificate or, they can't do that. but it's a good service because they can hook it up and they can tell people, residents, like, here's where you could be paying more attention, you could be more energy efficient. We see these areas here.
Can we check in with them and
Yeah.
have, I don't necessarily need a report, but I'd like to check in with them to see, like, I'm just concerned that, you know, if we're allocating money and they're not using it, I'd like to check in with them to find out, like, is it not enough? Do they feel supported? Like, what do we need to do for the
Sure.
energy committee, and then try to have a dialogue to come back to the board with to see, you know, what's up, because otherwise, you know, the way I look at it is that if you don't spend it, then it's probably going to get zeroed out.
Yeah.
And maybe that needs to happen. I don't know, but it's just like, if you're not spending the money, then.
Well, I do know that they like to do public outreach, so sometimes they attend the Jericho Farmers Market, and they have some, you know, some handouts they like to give in print sometimes, but a lot of that stuff we can do at the clerk's office. I will reach out
It's
to
worth
Michael
checking in.
Oman. So I think Amanda kind of tends to the energy conservation and the rec committee, so she kind of had reached out to them, but I will follow up with Michael Oman.
Didn't they want like a tent or a table or
Yeah,
table and chairs or something not too long ago?
a tent, I believe.
And they didn't get that, or didn't come from that line?
I don't know. I will see what the status is on that and report back. So let's see, that was line,
It was 182.
okay, 182. So I think we've covered everything down through there. So the library, I believe they're having their meeting tonight. So that will be set. They're their own municipality. Let's get back up to planning and zoning though. So Maya is on line basically 166. So we have a contract with CCRPC for an acting zoning administrator. That roughly right now is around 73,000. So we, Jennifer and I thought, I think I suggested maybe a 6% increase, because I kind of anticipate she's doing so well. I would anticipate a merit increase from CCRPC. I do know she spoke with me today and said that St. George might utilize her a little bit more. She only has 4 hours in St. George, so she could get a 7.5 hour day there. That would help. There's certainly lots she can do, and I think I would like to see her play a little bit of a consulting role with Larry, because she reads the regs all day long, and she's very astute, and she's picked up on lots and lots of things where, you know, Larry's certainly, you know, accustomed to our regs, but she gets into the minutia. So we'll utilize her. You know, the winter months can be a little bit slow. Although we had a hearing on Monday night that I helped her with. It was a Harvest Crossing hearing, which they got approval.
You
by
got
the
their
way.
final approval, I heard.
So, but she's doing great, and I'm hoping. Bless you, Bob. I hope she stays. But I would anticipate. So I did meet with Taylor Newton and the DRB chair in St. George. I went down there a month or so ago, met with them, and just, you know, gave her a lot of good feedback, and they did too. They're really happy to have her.
Oh, great.
And they're realizing that, you know, if she's only there 4 hours a week, it's not
tough.
enough. So.
I'm really glad this model is working out, and I think investing in it further, I think, makes sense. It's a benefit to everybody.
Yeah, just to give you, you know, we could go back to the revenue line, but just the money she brings in fees is probably over half her salary is brought in fees. So
that is substantial.
Yeah. And then Larry, you know, Larry's still, I guess, so he and Maya and I went over this planning and zoning section. And I think he's staying on the 15 hours a week, although he hasn't been quite putting that in. But he certainly, you know, he's doing a great job staffing the planning commission. I think
The contract is up to 15 hours, right? It's not a minimum of.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And he's pretty efficient at the time he's here. So mapping, if we skip down to mapping, we had put some money in the budget last year. We need to update our parcel maps.
Mm.
And the last time it was done was 2018 when I did it. Ed Moore used to keep our parcel maps up to date, like almost daily. He worked on it hard for a long time. And we've got a great set of maps, but they need to be updated. So I'm just going to go off topic a little bit here that I have contacted a person that's interested in helping with that. His name's Justin Willis. He's a septic designer, but he's the best CAD operator I've ever known. I mean, he's very skilled, very efficient. I have a mapping computer set up. I'm going to set up in the office. I was going to show him the routine, how I do it. And basically, I would like to just hire him by the hour to get our map up to date. And then we'll send it to the state, and then it gets uploaded. And then all of the sites that you see, E911, Vermont Parcel Viewer, A&R Atlas, the Vermont Survey Library, all that parcel data gets updated. So my goal is to have that done before April and the new grand list and Amanda's new numbers for the reappraisal, Stisco reappraisal, because she's going to get a lot of people coming in. They're going to be looking at maps. It'd be nice to have everything current.
So that 5,000 you think would cover the cost of
Well,
that?
no.
That...
So we already put some money in the budget. You see 7,200 in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can easily get caught up with that money, maybe probably less. But we put 5,000 in going forward.
Okay.
So I think it's a good idea,
Mm-hmm.
and because there may be other mapping projects, especially with the with what Larry's doing when it comes to land use planning, stuff like that. Sometimes you need an expert that can draft the maps you need. So
Brad, the mapping it's property boundary maps?
Yeah. Parcel maps.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, not official, but I look at it, it's like a,
To Google,
It's
it's
like
overlaid on a Google map.
no, it's relayed on Vermont orthophotography.
Okay.
It's not on Google, but
Or whatever. It's
Yeah.
It's
it's on
essentially
imagery. Yes,
yeah,
imagery.
exactly.
Yeah, that the state flies every year. Also, it's good to keep a little money in there. I haven't heard about a new flight, but we should be, the state flies certain sections of the state on a,
I thought we did that.
we did that a few years ago, but there'll be a new one coming. So
It was
that,
last year, wasn't it?
no, it was the year before.
Oh.
I wasn't too happy with it. And I haven't expressed my concerns with the mapping division up there, but I will. I think they flew too late in the day. I've got a lot of experience with aerophotography. They flew too late in the day. They flew too high. The shadows were extremely long.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't happy with it. But nonetheless, it's good to keep a little money in there in case a mapping project comes up, we're able to jump on it.
Mm.
So,
Brandon, in addition to all that, line 187,
yes.
we budgeted 3325 for conservation,
Yes.
and now it's down to 1,000. So we've cut that down by 2325 for conservation. So I'd like to check in with conservation to make sure that that's an appropriate thing, because it seems like they're a pretty active group as well.
They are, and I think that little bump might have had something to do with the natural resources inventory mapping, where we had a little bit of extra work for the presentation they gave. I'll check in with Karen and find out.
And I would like to remind them that Green Up Day is coming, and perhaps they would like to have more things for outreach here, if we're planning on doing what we did last year for Green Up Day. I know they had some tables and displays and stuff like that, so it seems like, that would be a great opportunity to Give the residents more information about conservation.
It's true. My kids liked all their bug things. They did a great job with sharing information. It was very fun and accessible.
And I think it's great. I think it was your idea to have like a barbecue at the town garage, and I think it's an
Mhm.
awesome idea.
It is good.
Good way to start out.
It's always good to be back in the garage.
Russ is gonna have the cart and the
Dog Bobby.
the barbecue.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The 177, the title of cultural services.
Yes. It's just a header that's an old header we've always used.
Yeah, I think I think we could change the name of that. I think that with the changes to not being able to express anything DEI, and culture is also a word that is searched for, that I don't know why that needs to be called cultural services. And it could be changed.
Yeah, so ask Jennifer about that. This could be a NEMRIC thing.
Okay.
Okay, so NEMRIC,
I don't.
so NEMRIC is a system that most all towns use in the state.
Okay.
And it's a database system. And I believe all of these categories you see here are, so you have to find something that best suits their certain categories, but I'll
Yeah.
ask Jennifer about it.
Okay.
About cultural services. Okay. You'll see that we only have so many. We also have codes that go along with these that you don't see, but Russ sees. Whenever a bill comes in, we code with this long number, and that's hooked into NEMRIC, and it feeds into this. And NEMRIC's a very old, antiquated system, but I'll ask Jennifer.
Thank you.
So the cemetery fund, working with Jed Rule, as the guy who did the fencing for us at the town pond, which came out great.
Mhm.
And I've been in contact with him the past couple of days here. I need to get him an easement document that he needs to sign for, and I have the document. I'm just trying to not push him too much. I'm just trying to, connect with him, and he needs to take the document to his sister. But at the same time, I was going to have him go up to the cemetery and have a look at the land, and then we know the footage, and see if I could get a price for maybe putting up one section of a split rail fence along the bank, the one closest to the road, maybe first. So I thought I'd see that. I know Kurt has also got some numbers for stump grinding, and I think maybe a little more tree removal. Not sure about that big silver maple that's in the middle. So I would look for that next meeting on the 4th. We'll have some hard numbers to plug in there. And the next line is, and I put a note last year about Community Cares Camp and Memorial Day. So those are combined. Like I said, we only have so many lines, and sometimes we have to combine these things. So our Community Cares Camp is in your appropriations. I think that was level funded this year, but the Memorial Fund, I asked Jennifer to increase that because we buy flags for the entire town, all 7 cemeteries. And that goes way, way back. The select board and the voters set up a fund for Memorial Day, way back. And it's to be perpetually funded. It's I should do the digging when that was done. I believe it was like $100 at the time. And this was probably 60, 70 years ago. But it's always been the same. It's like $250, I think, is what it's always been. But we get usually what happens is, and used to be Richard Becker and Rachel, his daughter, would purchase the flags. They would go out and put them all in all the cemeteries. I think they'd give some to Nate. Nate would do his cemeteries. We would do ours. Russ's father and I, the one we tend to in Poker Hill and the Flats. But the bills have been like $550 to almost $600 for flags now. So I bumped that up. Cole Tierney's taking care of that. He's my neighbor. He's founding member of the Fife and Drum. So he bought them last year on his own account and we just reimbursed him. But maybe we could get a better deal if we went through the town and
Mhm.
found a place to, but I just bumped up that line for the flags.
Makes sense.
Contact Betsy. Ross.
Let's see, Ross, yeah,
I
right.
was with you.
Is that the company?
Is that really where you're going?
So they just note on 186, Green Mountain Transit is no longer functioning. So again, because we're short on lines,
Oh.
Jennifer just noted that the Jericho Underhill Food Hub will now be in the place where that was.
Got it.
Skipping down, just appropriations, and you'll see on the side, letter received. That was, it just steps and violence went up $75. Local food shelf, we talked about that last time, so we bumped them up to the 250 that they're allocated. Howard Center, 1,400. That letter was received right on the deadline, but 250, yeah, so they were right at 1,400, so that's allowed. Age well, same thing. I think we've gone over some of these before. So we still have, so if you look at this capital expenditures, we've got the money in there for that's the ARPA money, the great room surplus ARPA money. So is there.
Mhm.
So that takes us through the general fund, I
And
think.
the town hall project, the great room project is anticipated to take place next fiscal year.
No, anytime, because that's ARPA money
Oh, it's
that
already
we,
there.
that
Okay.
we reserved.
If it's
For
not, then
that.
we're gonna be
What are we waiting? Who are we waiting for?
contracted.
Anybody to bid on it.
Oh,
You know, we've reached out to everybody that the Preservation Trust of Vermont suggested. Of course, Shara's talked about this. We talked about cutting into the floor. Seth and I installed the window today, you know, the window that got blown out with the windstorm.
Mhm.
So that looks great. It's all in there, back in there now. And then, you know, the floor really needs, we need to explore what the floor looks like. Sherry found all the photos the other day from when the ceiling caved in. So we've got some great photos of what it looks like. So we just need to do some test holes and then hope. We're just going to have to keep hounding people
Got
to
it.
see if
Okay.
they can do it. Everybody's busy and it's really, you know, if you're good at what you do, there's no shortage of work. And it's, but anyway, that brings us to highway. Unless there's any more questions on general fund, I think we hit the highlights. I don't know, I'll go through and Russ will probably want to chime in on certain things.
You didn't really smile when I said that.
I think the salaries there, if you just read the little notes that Jennifer puts on the side, I think that was all discussed last time. All these things. We've got tree and brush removal. That's, did you bump that up a little 47.5 for
What it was last year.
what it was last year?
Yeah.
So just an update, Don Toby has talked to all the landowners and marked almost everything from the south end of Poker Hill where we left off to North Underhill,
he's doing a wonderful
which is
job.
unbelievable. I can't believe he's gone that far. He asked me to order some more paint, which I will for him.
That's
There's
amazing.
a lot of paint. But, and he'll be in contact with GJ's and Russ and we'll figure out when, you know, when it's good and dry or cold enough, just so we're not tearing up the road.
Okay.
And I think everybody has been pretty receptive. I don't think he's run into any snags.
So I would like to make a comment about salaries. That I know that we have discussed in the past, that the 3% represents the cost of living, call it inflation, call it whatever you want. That doesn't include merit or longevity or seniority for our staff. So as far as I look at this, is like, that's the base. And we have attempted and tried to be mindful of what our neighboring towns are paying for similar type services, but and we made adjustments last year for that to make sure that we're there. I don't know that we have necessarily received a report for that, Brad. Like, looking at where we stand for highway workers, highway foremen, town clerk and everything like that. But I'd like to get that specifically, like, of all the positions, and find out specifically where we stand as it relates to, I call it our direct competition. So the bordering towns that are immediately around us, we should know, like,
Yeah, I think
Where-
Jennifer has prepared those documents. I believe she sent them to you. But I'll ask her again.
if we could have that for next time.
I'll have it in the packet
Yeah,
itself.
I'd like to look at that, and then I think we should, review that, and we should also talk about whether or not there's going to be a merit or some type of increase as it relates to that, because I think we need to we're gonna have to eventually, I think, plug a number in.
You're talking about two different things, I think. A merit increase is different than a market increase.
Right, I mean, we can,
Market increases are easier in some sense because you plug them in, you can see a spreadsheet. A merit increase needs a system. And we've talked about this, and we failed to set up a kind of system for merit increase, I think, unless I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but market increases really are what you're talking about when we're looking at our neighbors.
or that's right, a market analysis would, keep track or keep pace with what our immediate surrounding towns
Right.
are. Merit or a
And-
step plan, I guess, is like where I'm heading, is that the longer you are, the more steps you would take, and the more value I feel you are to the town, because you have longevity with the town. And so state employees typically are getting, 0.9% every year for the first 5 years. And then, after 5 years, 5 to 10 years, you get another step, and then, it's a progression type thing. And I would like to have us, maybe this isn't the year, depending on where, the budget lies, but I would like to have us get to that, point where, we are looking at not only, the market factor, the COLA, but, the increase for longevity, because we have employees that have been here a long time, and they're valuable in my mind. They're valuable to the town. Having people that have been around for a while is a great asset to, I think, everyone.
If there's a system like in the state that they've already done the work on, we could really adopt it. I don't know in what you dealt with the co-op, if you had
The
a
city,
system.
the co-op didn't have a structured system. It was all union bargaining each
Ah.
3 years. But at the city of Burlington, there was it's called a step system. Based on your years of service, these are the increments that you get.
Hi.
Okay.
Sign in.
The city of
and have
Burlington does
Susie.
that. At least that's what they did
Oh,
several
right here's
years.
the end to sign in.
I think Dan, you're spot on that, having some sort of built-in structured
Yeah.
system versus like having us try to evaluate all the employees and.
Yeah, an
and
ad
do
hoc
that is
system
really
is just, it's tough to
right.
have that feel equitable.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And if we are looking at sort of comparisons, I think that it's not just salary, it also needs to be benefits.
Mhm.
Agreed.
It's true.
We
That's a good
are
point.
paying a
It's
large portion of
It's a good
health insurance,
Yeah.
and that has to be considered.
It's total
Mhm.
compensation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The total compensation package. So
Yeah.
if we could get that first piece, that would be wonderful for our next round of.
Yep,
How-
we'll make sure to include it in the packet. I'm just gonna, we only have 10 minutes left.
Well, we don't need to keep, kicking a ball just to kick it. I mean, if we're good, then we can.
Well, no, I
we
just
can
have a
move
couple
on,
things I
but-
wanted to highlight.
Oh, pardon me, I'm sorry.
Well, so I just wanted to briefly talk about the professional services line.
What number again?
229, we're just below salaries on the highway. So last year we had put in the 20,000, and I don't know if it's a proper time now to, last year we put in 20,000 to have an architect take a look at this building. And I think, professional services don't have to go out to bid. I believe Bob had reached out to a architect or someone and that I know that I worked with for 30 years. And I think it's time to get the road crew together with an architect and think about how you could change this place. This roof needs to come off.
So that's going to happen this year.
No.
It's in our fiscal year.
So to back up, so we felt that we have an issue with the roof here.
Yeah.
So in order to correct that issue, we agreed that we were going to hire an architect or an engineering firm.
Yeah.
I suggested 10, I think you said 20, and we put $20,000 in the budget. So now I want to begin that process of bringing a team together to discuss, what does the next 25 years of this building look like, and if we need to make an addition, or at minimum, we need to deal with the roof.
Right.
I think they have, if we remember what this building represented when it was across from the town hall, and look at what this is, this is a mansion compared to where they came from, but this is now filling up with all of their stuff, and it's not housing everything that they have. So I think we need to look at the long term of the next 25 years at minimum to say, like, what are we going to do now?
But isn't that study going to happen this fiscal year?
Up to $20,000. Then Brad is proposing that we increase that line yet again to now up $50,000 to $50,000, right?
Yes.
To keep.
So that presumes we have a study, we're going to do something. It's a placeholder, 50,000 placeholder to do some.
Whatever if we have to get, somebody in here to analyze this foam, or who knows what you're going to have to.
So not the actual work, still analysis.
Yeah. Still analysis.
Got it.
Just safe.
And if we don't spend it, I'm hoping that we could put that into a reserve account, so that I envision that we are going to be spending some money. And it may be a significant amount of money, depending on how you define significant, but I envision that there's going to need to be something done to this building that's going to be more than $50,000.
And some of that money is also contractor line, correct? So,
Makes sense.
if
Yeah, they
Russ
started
needs
to build the reserves necessary for whether it's like remediation or whatever it might have to be. I think is.
But if Russ needs to hire
But
someone with a
because
bigger
if I read this
excavator.
correctly, we had $50,000, but is it this year we're dropping it $20,000?
We had 70 in there before,
Oh, okay,
right?
right, because it's normally 50.
It's normally,
It's normally 50, we bumped it to 70 to allow for that $20,000.
So now it's going
Got it.
back, right, so now it's going back to 50. So the 50 is going to be for what you normally spend or have available to you for
Right,
your contractor professional services line. So if you need to hire
right.
somebody to come in and do something,
So then if you go down the line,
we got rid of the contractors
we
and miscellaneous.
took the $30,000 miscellaneous contract, which for whatever reason, there was two lines, didn't need it. So
Got it.
we took that 30 out.
right?
But aren't you saying that we need to, if we're gonna keep it at 20,000, we gotta be back at 70?
Well, we have allocated up to $20,000 to either consult with a structural engineer or an architect to come up with a plan of what are we going to do with this building. I had an architect come and look at this very preliminarily, maybe a year and a half ago, with the idea that we need to do something. And now that the money's there, and it's now, I think, a matter of getting everyone together, build a team and say, what do we need to do here? And then invite the architect or the structural engineer to come in and start coming up with some type of plan. And then once we have a plan, then we can budget for that. But this $50,000 does not take into account, any type of anticipation of
No.
a plan.
So what we should do, why don't you and Jennifer and I get together and we'll look
Before
at
the next version.
what your contractors would be. And then if we want to add some more, you okay, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to add some more to that for like architectural or structural analysis, we can.
Okay.
So review contractors on it. But
Basically, we had normally had $80,000 between contractors and professional services and miscellaneous contractors.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already deleted the $30,000 miscellaneous contractors.
But you never used any money there in
Well-
miscellaneous contractors. I thought you and Jennifer.
Well, we
got
did.
together.
We used some out of there, then some were out of the other ones, but we didn't understand why it needed to be two different lines. So looking at what we utilized, that's why we got rid of the $30,000
Well, you use,
miscellaneous and then just utilize that contractor's line
Mm-hmm.
instead for every.
So like contractors miscellaneous, you didn't use any of it, and then contractors used 33,000 of it. Right?
Right. So it all depends what happens through the year. You don't know.
If you're planning a big project, then we need to bump it up, right?
Right.
So we got.
I just don't want to get cut short. That's all.
Yeah.
No, but I think this is a year, given the bridge project, that we want to be a little tight and then,
Okay.
um,
Just communication.
so yeah, I'm just gonna highlight two quick things, and Russ can, so I think you put more money into the hauling, which I think is a great idea, because Mike and I sat down, did an analysis. I think I don't think you can haul material, we can't haul material for the price that they do.
So here's some discussion we could have. So we normally purchase 7,000 tons. The last 2 years, we've hired out a contractor to haul 3,500 tons. So basically half of our usage, and we hauled the rest of it as we could, which helped us do other jobs and so on. So that worked very well. So I recommended this year that we go from 3,500 ton to 4,500 ton, gradually increase it up to where hopefully we get to a point where we aren't trucking back and forth to Johnson. And we're utilizing our time and equipment in town,
Mm-hmm.
doing our construction work, and let the over-the-road trucks made to do that,
I think
do that
makes
work.
sense.
And then it saves wear and tear on our heavy equipment
That
and
makes sense.
so on.
employee time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
It may not seem it, but
Oh, yeah.
when you can only do 5 loads a day,
Exactly.
no.
Just choose-
it takes
That adds up.
forever.
So
Yeah.
I'll just skip down quick to the very end, 274, 275, 276. So the line 274, the shear purchase is in there. So we should have probably a separate discussion on that, maybe on the 4th.
This is the tree equipment
The
that we-
shear, the
that we
shear.
looked at.
So I think we should have a separate conversation with that on the 4th. You'll notice the sidewalk, that's leftover ARPA money. That's kind of a placeholder to do the sidewalk in the center, if we get there. And then the road infrastructure committee met. Dan was there, Jennifer was there. Came up with some different plans, but the plan is to do either Pleasant Valley Road 1 or 4 for 200, and we've got 230 in there, which is more in line with what we normally budget. Last year, we jacked it up. We were at 340.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we were using reserve money
Right.
that we had
Right.
on hand.
So what sections of Pleasant Valley?
Either 1 or 4.
I don't
So
know what that
one is, so progressively it starts in the center at the stop sign where the old store used to be.
Okay,
Pleasant Valley starts
so
there.
that's one?
That section 1 goes up through roughly past the school.
Okay,
Then
Okay.
then there's section 2, section 3, 4, 5, 6.
okay.
So section 1 is that first part. Section 4 would be where we left off from.
Because 3 was what was done.
3 is what was done.
Got it.
Mhm.
So, and so you have 1 and 2 are in there to get you up to where we started, section 3. This would be to continue on down towards where Dan Mance lives, towards Corbett.
Patty refers to the Pleasant Valley sections as the speed limit. So this would be where you have to really go slow. Pleasant Valley
What's-
one is
what
25
sign
to
am I
30
looking
miles.
at?
That's right. So, yeah.
So also, we talked about passing by Pleasant Valley 1 and doing 4, because there may be alterations that we want to do depending on the sidewalk.
Right.
Because there's going to have to be some adjustment of the roadway, especially
Right.
around Bridge 8. So, not messing with that. However, there is some, because Slayton didn't get to the repair, we suggested if the potholes dry out, if you could put some coal patch, on there. And
By which bridge or what section?
well, that would be River Road and Pleasant Valley 1. I think that there's some
You mean by the Hummel Bridge?
Hummel Bridge.
What do you, is it the Hummel?
That's not Pleasant Valley.
No, that's River Road.
No,
I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
the River Road. And, doing that, I'm sorry, I misspoke. That's River Road, not Pleasant Valley. That it would be a good idea to protect those potholes so that they aren't huge in the spring. Do you agree? That,
We certainly can try. We did do some recently, but not down in there. through the valley.
but I know you can't
If
do
they're
it when
not-
it's
if they're
wet.
not
and-
if they're not very deep, I don't know how deep they are really, but if they're not very deep, that doesn't stay. You put it
Yeah.
in, especially when it's cooler out.
We don't
It
need any speed limit signs though.
It just doesn't stay, so it's hard to.
So anyway, I think we can continue all
Okay.
this. We're at 7:02, but
Yep.
we'll be prepared with what you'd asked for
Okay.
and more for next time. I
Great.
think we're getting really close.
Yeah,
So there's one thing that's not on here that I'm pretty sure Jennifer and I spoke about, unless I've missed it, but we have our lease truck.
Oh, I can,
Is this about the truck lease buyout?
so
Yeah.
That was my
I
question.
could just bring that up. I put that in the packet. So it was decided when we leased this truck that if the time came to do a buyout, that would go on the warning, the official warning. So that could be a discussion we could have on the 4th
Okay.
Okay.
about adding that, whether you want to purchase the 21 lease truck for 40,000 roughly, and to add that to the warning or not. So
Okay.
that's something we
Discuss on the
should
board.
put on
Okay.
for that. I stuck it in there as a teaser just to.
Just a winter appetite.
Yeah, exactly. But
That makes, okay.
and I personally, I'll just give you my opinion. I think that's great having a spare truck. It's got very few miles on it. It's a single axle. I think it would be a smart move to purchase. I really do.
It's proven this last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Put the truck down. Yeah.
But anyway, so next time.
You're right, Patty. you can do
So, I just wanted to go over appropriations quick. I think it's in your packet, but
that.
there's nothing, appropriations, there's no surprises in there. It's in your packet. They're all just pretty much level funded. So we're good. And we're back a minute ahead of schedule.
It's just a-
Efficiently
It's just a
done.
guideline. It's just a guideline.
So we got we're done with the budget proposal version 2. We're on to appropriations.
I just said that. I just said, so the appropriations are in your packet. There's nothing, no
We can move-
surprises.
So we can move on.
We can move on. No surprises. Everything's pretty much level
So this
funded.
tax exempt lease purchase memo is just,
Just to keep
that's the teeing us up to be
Yeah.
thinking about a warning for the voters.
Exactly.
To approve buying the lease truck so that it's
Mhm.
clearly the voters are taking action.
yes.
Mhm.
And that was your
Excellent.
motion when
Excellent.
we decided to go into this lease.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
I want to make you mad.
I know.
So now it's 7:05.
Yeah. Slow down. All right. We're on to consider the Tomasi Meadow winter lighting proposal.
So just before you, there was some two correspondence that were, I had emailed to you, and then one was emailed to you directly. The one is dated November 18th, from Bob Lindy, and the other is from Robin Lazon Farrell. That was an email you all got, but I've included, there's a, down at the bottom underneath your budget, both of these are there. It's not in the packet
No,
because it didn't come in, yes.
Could I read that out loud for the record?
No, I'm
No,
sorry,
they have it, so.
Brad, thank you. The public comment period has closed.
Well, I know, but I didn't know, we went to the town hall.
Okay,
and that's
so
why we got here late.
I sincerely
There's a
apologize.
closing public comment period also.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
So for the last, so the select board has adopted rules of procedure. And we have, at the beginning of our meeting, we have an open public comment period, and at the end, we have a closing public comment period.
I know about the beginning.
And the town had a public hearing about the Tomasi Meadow, last week.
I was there.
Right. So this,
It
so
wasn't announced. This
I
wasn't announced.
would love to, if I could. So this is now the time that we've heard the public comment. So now this is time for the select board to deliberate on what we heard and make a decision on how we are going to move, if we're going to move forward, if we're going to pause, what we're going to do. This is not a time for public comment. It's now time for the board to act upon what we heard from last week. I am sincerely apologize that you were unaware that the meeting was going to be held here. We tried our best to make notice to the public in several different ways to make the public aware that we're having a special meeting and we're having it here tonight.
Other than the website, what were the other ways?
Yeah, I would like to address that.
Sorry, sorry, I don't.
No, I'm gonna address this.
Yeah.
So, because there's a front porch forum post that I didn't appreciate tonight. So at the meeting, at the hearing we had last Thursday.
Right.
It was very clear and was on the agenda that the next scheduled meeting was gonna be at the town garage on November 20th. And then after the hearing concluded and testimony was heard, the select board, I believe Bob said clearly that we will deliberate on this next week. In addition, it was posted in 3 public places, this meeting, 3 public places, 48 hours in advance, which is actually, this is a special meeting, so it's outside of our regular scheduled meeting. It was posted in 3 public places, 48 hours in advance. It was posted on our website. It was posted on the front porch forum post last time. So I only have so many posts when it comes to front porch forum.
Yeah, I
And if you
understand.
read our website, on the select board page, it clearly states that special meetings will not appear in front porch forum, only regular scheduled meetings. So there's a difference between regular scheduled meetings and special meetings. When you have a special meeting, nothing can be added to the agenda. You can't technically hold like a public forum because it's not within our regular schedule.
Right.
So we have, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but fortunately, Thanksgiving next Thursday, which is our regular scheduled day. And clearly on that schedule, it said that that meeting may be rescheduled, and that was posted in March. So anyway, I just want to clear up the misconception that this is an unannounced meeting, because that's absolutely false.
All right, I just don't know where to look, but okay.
Well, the website, the 3 public places, and
If I
last
see it at
time,
the end of the agenda last time, it's my mistake, I understand.
and it was clearly stated after the testimony that we were going to be meeting here to deliberate.
So if you have comments to share, you're welcome to share them at the closing public comment period.
True, but it might be moot.
It may. So we're gonna move on.
I know.
And I appreciate you coming. I truly do. It's just, this is a time now for the board to deliberate.
Oh, I understand.
And I will state, just to let you know, that they have copies of what you said.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
and this is a part of what we are deliberating with.
Yeah.
You know, with
Okay.
the hearing that happened last time. So
Right.
be assured of
I'm
that.
Sorry, I missed that part on the agenda that said announce this meeting.
So,
No worries, glad you're here.
So go on,
so
take over.
we are at a point where this body needs to make a decision on what we feel is appropriate. We haven't asked for the Tomasi Meadow to be used. It's been spelled out by the Recreation Committee. I feel that we are at a point where if you feel that we have received enough public comment, then we can move forward towards making a decision. If the body doesn't feel like we have received enough public comment, then I think we should begin there and say, do you want to receive more public comment before making a decision? I know that time is short because the ski season is coming, and a lot of the athletes and kids would like to start using the Tomasi Meadow. I noticed on my way here tonight that there was 2 or 3 people out with headlamps using, the trails now, and they're enjoying themselves, skiing in the Tomasi Meadow. So I know that it's being used and weather is cooperative and everything like that. But I think we need to make a decision before we deliberate much farther. Is that, do you feel that we have received enough public comment? And if we have, then we can move on to making a decision. If you don't think that we have, then maybe we should pause and get more public comment. So I'd like us to address that first.
So I think I'm of the mind that we do not have enough public input at this time. I think there is, especially given at our last meeting, there were nearby residents that felt like they didn't have enough advance notice to properly consider or get the information. And it looks like too, in our packet, it was included that the rec committee has kind of reduced the footprint of what they're proposing. I'm wondering if it would be feasible, and I know time is tight, but I'm curious, have they already purchased the 20 lights?
I can't answer.
I don't know. If
I don't believe so. They wouldn't do that, but
yeah.
I would say,
I can comment on that, Brad.
well, hold on a minute. That's fine. But I would just like to say, as far as the weather-wise, it's going to be 50 degrees next week.
That's true.
We're going to go right back down to bare ground again. Okay.
Tough skiing.
We'll be tough. So, and maybe that could change in an instant, but just keep that in mind. It's very early.
I guess the question, regardless of whether they've been purchased yet or not, but what I'm curious about is seeing lights, whether it's all 20 or just one section of it lit up, and maybe it's a site visit that is open to the board and the public, that I think in an evening time when it is dark, see what that would look like, and invite the public and try and make it as publicized as possible for more people who live in the area to be able to see what it looks like, and then at a later time then have a chance for people to offer feedback, not at that,
Right.
not at the site visit. But I feel like more information and kind of being able to see what we're talking about would be helpful.
Maureen, I really like that suggestion. I was prepared to share a suggestion of a Plan, Do, Study, Act. And I was jumping a little bit further ahead, thinking lights were already purchased. What if, I was prepared to say, what if we say yes to the lights this year, 3 days a week, 3 hours, hard restriction, and then final decision if that's something we have ongoing, because of hearing the concerns of residents not being, the main ones that I've heard are not being informed, really impacting their quality of life, concerns to the conservation, to light pollution, and over and over again, I'm hearing slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, that part of the slippery slope, is there a way we could try it? And even doing it even more, not entire season, just having lights set up for a site visit would be, would have everybody have an opportunity for a more informed discussion.
I thought after the hearing and thinking about it for a couple of days that, I heard the lack of communication with the abutters. And also, we don't really know what we're talking about. We had that little sample, but we don't know what it looks like. And I was thinking, initially, well, why not have it in 1 month, just January? But it's the darkest month and, but I also was thinking that that's too much, given after I read Bob's well-written letter and the statement that jumped out at me what you said very insightfully, I don't think the plan is ready for a yes or no vote. And I agree with that statement. But how to get there, and maybe just a sample, maybe 1 month is too long to commit to. You know, perhaps a small section to see what it looks like, and then consult, and then if it's a yes, it can go for the next year after more discussion with the neighbors and with the community.
Right. There's a lot of, it's, you know, we're being asked to balance the needs and desires of multiple parties and multiple stakeholders. And I think doing that in an as formed way as possible will help us make a better decision.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I would like to see it, and I think the community needs to see it, not just the abutting landowners.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a community gem for all of us, and it affects everybody passing through. So I think the entire community, and everyone has an opinion on this, and we need to invite more. We need to, can I finish? We need to invite more discussion, and I don't want to rush to a decision on this and get it wrong, because it's just too important. And the other thing that comes to mind, as I've been thinking about this, if we did it, and I would love to see a lit cross-country ski area, but if it becomes too successful and the parking goes crazy, we've got another problem. And one question that has come to mind is this the right place? Are there other fields? Are there other places that we could do this and do it better? I don't want to rush on this and get it wrong. I think we need to be really looking at it from many different dimensions and having a chance to see whether it's 3 lights, 5 lights, 10 lights in the field to get a sense, and also explore other places in town that we might be able to do this. I don't want to rush on it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to rush.
So is it the consensus of this group?
One edit to your comment, community gem or community annoyance.
Yeah.
And we don't know that.
Exactly.
We don't know what that is.
Can be both. Both things can be true.
It's true.
So is it the consensus of this group that we will hold another public hearing? Am I hearing that?
Or a site visit? Is that what we're?
With the lights on there or both?
A demonstration.
So I think a site visit would be really helpful and invite the public to that.
Exactly.
And then I think it's maybe a question of, do we want to have another public hearing after that, or ask people to submit comments in writing afterwards if they have, thoughts and reactions versus a public hearing? I don't know what.
I think that makes sense, because it's kind of awkward to just have a site visit and then not a hearing after.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I want to charge the rec committee is there another place? I'd like that question answered. I will not vote yes for Tomasi Meadow until we've said, there's no other place in town?
Does this come out of because the Bill Copley used to use the folks' property up on Sand Hill? And then that property sold, and now they're
I think it's because of the range.
Yeah, they used to do it at the range, and the range is now closed to civilians.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
was part
for
of that.
the time being,
Yes.
I guess.
They're doing some,
So Brad, can we, I believe I'm feeling the consensus is that we would ask Anton to try to set up a time where we would have a sample of what that light might look like in the field, and that we would have like a warned site visit for the public this board may be able to go to, like, say, and observe that, and then either that same night or another night have a public hearing. I'm kind of leaning myself towards let that digest for a few days, let the public have an opportunity to, interact with their neighbors and stuff like that before we get into it.
Or maybe even light it for a couple of nights consecutive, the 1 or 2 lights out there, just to see, if somebody misses it you could have a site visit on the 4th, somebody misses it, they could just fire it up and say, it's going to be periodically on between. I don't know if that's a great idea or not, but I think, so if you wanted to schedule a site visit, I would recommend doing it at 6 p.m. on the 4th. of December, and then have your hearing at a regular scheduled meeting.
It's weather
The 11th.
dependent, however.
Well,
Is it?
Is it really?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe just the lights. can
Well,
be there.
it's
I
true.
suppose
if-
they would
if-
be not as bright if it was raining,
Or if the snow wasn't on the ground.
because of reflection.
Mhm.
So you could postpone it to the 11th, hoping that we'll have snow by then. Or no.
I think
No.
we can't let ideal conditions be the enemy of progress, right? I think,
But I think it could look different
yes.
downcasted on grass versus downcasted on snow. Take a chance.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave it, I believe it is the consensus that we're gonna leave this in your capable hands of trying to figure out some type of site visit and coordinate that site visit with Anton and the rec committee to get that field lit, and then you're going to report back to this body what days that's going to look like.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that it's also the consensus of this group that I'm feeling that once you have had an opportunity to talk with Anton about that, that you will make that public.
Yes.
Of like when that's going to be.
We'll put it on Front Porch Forum.
And let the public know, and then
Sure.
after that, by hearing this body, right, then we will have a second public hearing about that after the public has had an opportunity to see that. Like, is that the right flow
I think
path?
so.
I think ideally, I don't want to create another meeting. We're planning on the 4th. I think we went up there at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock on the 4th,
Mhm.
out of there in
I'm gonna leave it up to you, Brad.
15
Like,
minutes.
what do you
Okay.
think that
And
looks
then,
like?
and then a hearing on the 11th. So,
And I do want to report from the rec committee,
yeah.
if this
about
is
other
the
places.
only location, is there any other spot?
Does that sound like I would prefer to see this than this?
Yes, I think that is the right next step.
So you're good, Patty's good,
Good.
you're good. Great. We're all good.
Okay, so that's what we'll do.
That's easy.
So 7:22, and we're on to the next.
Yep. So now we're into the request for the use of Moore Park for forgiveness, the forgiveness moon ceremony. Is Karen on by chance?
No, she's not, but I'll speak for her. So this is like an indigenous ceremony, having to do with so this is an indigenous type ceremony. You know, Pat Lamphere is a very strong member of the Conservation Commission, has been for many years. He's very involved in indigenous things, and he came up with this idea. And I think Karen outlined it in her memo, but it's a forgiveness moon ceremony where they just have and maybe Russ has a small or an old tire ring or something like that. They just want to build a very small fire in the parking lot and then throw offerings in. She explained it in her.
I think it's a great.
It sounds like a lovely use of the park, and
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to burn the place down. It's going to be a
So
very
the only thing that I guess I would,
not a tire, a
Don't
rim,
tires burn.
a rim, a tire rim, a tire rim. A tire
so
rim.
a wheel.
Okay.
That's what when you go to
Bad.
campsites, you see the tire rim.
Oh, yeah, that.
Dan is remembering Cabbage Night of years past, to the point where, they would, light bales of hay, tires on fire, type of thing.
Gasoline and
Yeah, it's not that type of party.
Yeah, let's build a fire.
I'm sure if someone has a solo stove, would be happy to share, not need a.
So a motion to allow the full moon forgiveness ceremony to take place as presented in the packet would be in order. Are you gonna move that?
I'll make that motion.
I will
Moved by-
second.
Moved by Patty, seconded by Maureen. Any discussion?
I'm glad that they asked. I think it's a lovely opportunity.
Ditto.
The only comment that I would have is that I know that the park is being used for a skating rink. So I am sure that they can coexist.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think we got ice coming too soon. So Not to be a downer about the snow and the
I
ice.
was looking over
This is
your
gonna be
weather
January
forecast.
3rd. Yeah. for the-
Any other discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor of approving the full moon forgiveness ceremony as presented in the packet, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed with a nay. That motion carries 5-0. Next
So I'd like to
is to discuss consider the Fuller Road parcel code abbreviation change. I'm going to move that we change the designation so we can open up the discussion for Fuller Road from FU to what was suggested as FD. Is there a second?
Second that.
Discussion, Brad.
I almost felt like after David's comment, he felt almost offended at that. Did you get that, Shara? So the goal is here is if David, as he points out often in his public comment, that, you know, he feels that FU is offensive. And I explained, I don't know if everybody got a chance to read my explanation here, but it's, in no way do I believe this was an intentional act. I explained that, you know, all the other choices were gone. And as you see, I highlighted all the other roads where we use the first two letters.
Right.
And the number I can get into, but it's really based on, it's a very kind of a complicated thing. I would say that Amanda, after speaking with her, said that she would also, I guess I'll briefly explain what the number means.
I'm sorry, the number?
The number after the acronym makes a difference, okay? So the
Well,
number.
I don't know how that, I'm sorry, Brad, but I don't know how the number impacts the designation of the letter for the road.
Well,
Enlighten me.
so I can just leave it as simple as this, that our system does not follow the Vermont E911 system. And Amanda stated that if we're going to change the abbreviation, she's going to change the numbers as well. That means people's mailing addresses change.
How many
would be
houses?
I'm not sure. We have 3 houses.
Now, why is that?
I was going to explain that, but I don't need to. I'd like
it.
Well, if you'd like a history of how our numbering system came about, I think it's useful information.
Yeah.
Ed Moore was on the 911 numbering committee when 911 was first born. He was a strong advocate of using a different system than the state adopted. Our system is based on 5,000 feet. Okay, not a mile. So, and on top of that, we only use precision out to the 10th, not the 100th. So if you go into the town of Cambridge that utilizes 911 properly, they use 100th of a mile. So when you see 500 River Road, that means that you're half a mile to the 100th place along the road. Versus us, you would have to be, if you were 5,000 feet, you would be at a very different number. I screwed that up, but basically, forget about the 5,000 feet for a minute. We use the 10. So I live at 60 Covey Road. That's supposed to mean that it's 0.6 miles, but it's not. It's based on the mile equals 5,000 feet. And that had something to do with the projection of the metric system. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just saying we're on a very different system.
And the whole
We
town
will
is on
be-
that.
It is on that. And
Okay.
whenever we have a new road, we will be forced to change all of our 911 numbers someday. So as we make changes, as a new road gets added, Sunrise Crossing, for example, those numbers will reflect the actual 911 system numbers. They will look very different from many others. So what Amanda has stated, that if she's gonna change the abbreviation, she's gonna recommend changing the number.
As she should.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that if we change any names, we should change the numbers and.
So back to,
Any chance
I
we
get it
have
now.
to.
So,
Yeah,
so
thank
we're
you.
in compliance.
Thank you.
So I would like to say that I have reason to believe that perception sometimes is reality. And if he finds that it is offensive, and he has made it very clear in several correspondence, and I'm referring to David Demers, that that is not the intention of for me, or I hope that no one on this board, that that's what that designation means. However, I can't and will not speak for past board members or how that came to be. I have my own thoughts, and I'm going to keep them private. But I do feel that it is the right thing for this body to do and to change and go forward with changing this designation from FU to FD, or I'm happy to hear what other suggestions may be, but I would like to get this, I would like to get this off from, a discussion that, seems to be, it's not, it was never, in my mind, it was never meant to be that, but if it really bothers him, then it's something that we should really consider. And if that's a disruption to 2 or 3 people on the road, then I'm willing to live with that, and I will certainly be happy to discuss that with the residents that live on that road. But I do think it's the right thing for the town of Underhill to do.
I thought all the roads were the first 2 letters
No.
of the road, aren't they?
no, I explained that in
Yeah,
my,
there's.
you'll see, these are the
Mhm.
only first, these are the highlighted ones are the only. And we have conflicts, right, all over.
Yeah.
I would say I just felt, and I think Shar picked up on it, that I almost felt like he said that this abbreviation change would be as offensive as the FU.
I didn't get that, and
To what?
To
Abbreviation?
change it to FD?
It's FD?
Yeah, that's what I got from what he just,
Oh,
do you understand?
yes, because
that?
they said instead of
Yes,
if D stands for David. You
Well,
did say that.
but I think the justification as written in the memo is very clear about like how the road names have to be chosen and what the other
Correct.
names that are already utilized and initials are.
I
Like,
could throw out another suggestion. You could rename the road completely. So I think what David was getting at is he'd like to see it back to NR, but I'm sorry, that's not possible because the trail is it's not a class 3 highway or a class 4 road. And
NR is already
his-
utilized.
And his access is from the
Mhm.
north end. So
so if FD is going to be a problem, then let's just do FZ. I'm serious. Like I do not want to spend a lot of bandwidth on this. Like I want to address the issue that it was
Okay.
not meant to be offensive, but if FD is offensive to him because he feels like the first word is offensive and the second word is now like his first name, it's not meant to be that.
No.
But you
No.
know what? I'm willing to concede and say, you know what? I'm not in your shoes, but I will respect where you're coming from, and I'd be willing to say, then let's make it FZ and move on.
Is FR available?
That's what I was just
Well,
gonna
so if
look
you
up.
read my,
FR.
Already
if you
taken.
read my
Yeah.
statement,
Yeah.
so I just want to tell you that if Fox Run did not exist prior to Fuller Road, it would have been FR. Okay, your next choice would have been FL. FL is already taken for French Hill.
Yeah.
And that was named way before Fuller Road. Fuller Road's a new name. Don't forget, 2010.
I get it.
Brand new name. FE was taken for Fern Hollow, which was named prior. So it doesn't leave, but you'll notice that all of these abbreviations are somewhat intuitive to the road name,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a history here. So
Okay,
Do they have to be 2 letters?
yes.
You
Can't
can't
be
go out
3.
of that?
I'm going to move there be FZ. I like.
I think
the-
I think it warrants,
Could it be
I-
FO? Like,
No,
it's just
we
the
already
next
have-
letter.
we
I
have,
don't think there's FO.
it could be FO, yes.
It's just like the next letter in the name
Sure,
that's
it
not
could be the
utilized
next-
by something else.
It
Like, I
could
don't-
be FO, yes,
Like-
that's the only other choice.
Good job.
Exactly.
I learned my letters.
I would,
But
it's
I
right.
appreciate what Bob is saying, and it's bothered me that it bothers David.
Yep.
It's not what we want to do, but I also think that this requires a little patience and a little thought. I would be more than happy to have another conversation with Amanda and bring this up again
Mhm.
at the next meeting.
Okay.
Well, but I don't like, maybe I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. I don't think that we need to have another meeting. This is not a heavy lift.
Okay.
I really do not think that's that complicated of an issue. It's 2 letters of a word that hopefully are not going to be offensive. If FD seem to be offensive and FU definitely is offensive, then please come up with. Maureen has made a suggestion. I'm willing to live with that.
Yep.
If the majority of you would like to vote on that, I would love to put this to bed. If you feel that more time is needed and we need to be patient and we need to move slowly, then I'm happy to do that too. But I'm ready to vote and move on.
This most likely will come back. Amanda has to notify people, give them a certain amount of time.
I would like to
This will come back.
involve Amanda again on this discussion.
That's fine. Is that the consensus? Is that we would like to have Amanda come in and weigh in on this?
I think maybe we say that the board is leaning towards FO, wants to make sure that works for her and do the numbers.
We'll have it.
Let us
Do
know
we
how
have to
many
give
people it would
notice
impact.
to
And
everyone on the road?
Everyone on road,
I mean,
because we'll be changing their
if it's
911.
3 people, can we just check in with them?
Probably.
Because if we solve one problem, I don't want to create 3 others.
And maybe they won't want it changed if they have to change their numbers.
I think we can easily get this taken care of next, but I think it does warrant a little caution. I'm sorry, but it's not as easy as I stated in my thing. It's not as straightforward as it appears.
Right.
There's financial implications, mortgage companies.
Mhm.
You'll have some very upset people on your hands. But
Okay.
When are we going to change for 911? Do we have a plan?
well, if the plan happens, then everybody's going to be
But could we
berserk.
do this change?
Phase it through or?
Right, can we do this change in conjunction
That's
with?
what Amanda's saying. If we're going to change the first
No,
two,
I,
right?
does she have a plan of us all?
For the whole town.
The entire town highway system or street system moving over to the
Not
911?
until we're forced to do so.
So the problem with doing it that way, in having some of the town being in compliance and the other portions of town, it's hard on emergency services to know like which roads are in and which system you're using on which road. So if you're using that system on 3 roads in town, it's just like it seems like once you start this, you ought to finish it.
Well, so we've started already, and Fuller Road, if it gets named to FO, will have the correct number for the state 911 system.
So,
and as we have with Harvest Crossing Road.
I'm just wondering, why not make that leap and go there?
And like
do it?
maybe
The whole
like,
town.
or at least like start with like chunks of town that like, okay, we'll
Yeah.
start with like the flats. So then like,
Amanda
I mean, it's
doesn't
a lot
have
of
that
work.
bandwidth.
Yeah.
You're talking, you would need extra staff.
yeah.
I mean, I've lived in a town that did it.
You did.
Yep.
We'd
It was
need-
not, I mean, this was 15 years ago.
Yeah, we'd need
20
extra
years ago
staff.
now.
We need extra staff.
It was,
And yours, there'll be people here every day, every night, every select board meeting.
Like,
It's not easy. I could ask Amanda how,
town of Williston did it, and we all said, okay, we have to
Okay.
change all of our addresses.
All
It's
right.
911. We all did it.
yeah.
unfortunately,
Nobody
I
showed
feel
up
like
at the
now that I'm
town
saying that,
hall.
I remember we had to do that back in Illinois, our like rural routes all changed.
If
Yeah.
you make the change with that explanation that we're doing this to be in compliance with 911,
We all need 911 to know where they're going when you
And-
need 911.
so we're not the only
But-
town. Jericho is another town.
it hasn't done it.
Any town that Ed Moore did parcel mapping in is like this.
So maybe we ask Amanda to like think out a proposal of like what it would take, whether we do it in sections or
Right,
Yeah.
this
like-
year or
like,
next
you know,
year or
right, like,
5 years
what
from
would
now.
need to be budgeted
Also, we
to.
need permission to do this from the state. So it's 911's call. I can have her check into it.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
also, this makes very small, if I can say something.
Yeah.
It makes very small sense to rename their numberings just because that's the way we're moving forward. You got 3 houses on this road. It's not like we're doing Irish settlement.
I know.
This is 3 houses on a very short road. That the problem is the abbreviation. Change the abbreviation to FO. Keep your road number, their address is the same. That'll eliminate anybody on that road having a problem.
Can we just?
And then moving
Not
forward,
change
if
the
you
numbering.
change the town,
Then
if
do
you're
it.
adding a brand new road, like,
I think,
Crossing.
I'll ask, I think Amanda needs to be part of this conversation. I don't want to
Yeah.
speak for her.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it, but I'm like, on the other hand, I'm like,
That's right.
It's a
It's
good
like
point, Russ.
creating a problem to solve a problem.
right. I
Right.
can
Yeah.
understand. I would want to get told that you got to redo all your address. That's huge. Like say,
Yeah,
you got
it's-
your vehicle payments, you got
Yeah. No,
everything
it
is
is a
like
pain.
credit cards, you got.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, but it's like one more. It's 3 houses.
Okay, so we'll have our ducks in a row for the 4th.
Okay.
Wonderful. Closing public comment. There's no one here,
No one online.
Nobody online.
no one online, so they can't comment if they're not here.
Okay.
Patty, you agree?
Yes, I do. Remember, I'm slow.
Takes time to process. All right. So we are at review and approve warrants. So I'm going to move that we approve the payroll warrant dated 11/17/2025. Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion? Hearing none, are you ready for the question?
I'm not doing, these guys have the
All-
next ones.
All those in favor of approving the payroll warrant dated 11/17/2025, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right,
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Do you want this signed? No. Never mind.
Yeah, I
I'm
want
slow.
those signed right there, yeah.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, it takes me time to process.
There's no minutes. I do have them, but they weren't in time for the packet, so get them next time.
Okay. I move that we approve the warrant dated 11/18/2025. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Next one's your.
Okay.
Hearing none, are you ready for the question? All those in favor of the warrant dated 11/18/2025, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
all right.
Aye. Those opposed with a nay. That motion carries 5-0. This is the Underhill Jericho Park District Annual Report. That's a correspondence.
Yep,
Everyone got a copy of this?
Mm-hmm.
they did send
Okay,
it.
so just acknowledging that we received a correspondence from the Jericho Underhill Park District Annual Report. Be better if it was
Thank you
named
to
Underhill
Park District.
Jericho Park District, but that's okay. They didn't have the designation right for the.
Once the 911.
We got the fire department.
We'll change that, we changed that.
All right. Member items, correspondence announcements. The next regular scheduled select board meeting, it will be on November 27th, which is now canceled due to Thanksgiving. Thanks, Thanksgiving. And the next meeting of the select board will be a special meeting on December 4th, primarily focusing on fiscal year 2027 proposed budget and possibly other things to be determined when Brad talks with Anton.
Yep,
Stay
exactly.
tuned.
Stay
And
tuned.
as a reminder, special meetings are not posted on Front Porch Forum.
Well, they will be this time.
This time.
We're gonna do a site. We're gonna do a site.
All right,
I will
I
put it
retract those
Is
statements.
it a limit on the town's number of postings,
Yeah.
or is it?
on Mine,
okay.
or
Are
me,
you
I would have to
personally-
have someone else
So
post it, I suppose. A little
Yeah.
awkward because people,
are used to you posting
Right.
them? But if we need.
and I would say, I also want to say, we are one of the few towns that I've ever seen that post agendas on Front Porch Forum.
Well,
I would
Jericho
like
does
to-
it very infrequently. I've never seen it on Cambridge.
well, you know how those people.
And so I'm just saying that it's not mandatory. It's
No.
just something we do.
And
nice-
we like accessibility and
Yeah.
getting the information.
But I think people
I have
need to
something
be, you know,
a lot to say to
Yeah. I got one thing and then why don't you, no, you go. So I'm going to drop the gauntlet now. Two things. So be thinking of, traditionally we have given money for staff for the holidays. So be thinking of that for the upcoming agenda. If we have, in the past, we have gotten like a gift certificate to a local restaurant or something like that. If there is something else that you may want to consider, then please be thinking about that for a meeting that will be coming up here shortly. We'll have that on the agenda for the staff. And then two, I would like to raise the bar as a cookie challenge. And we'll have voting by the staff and garage, and we'll see who is going to be coveted with the Christmas cookie crown.
And what meeting is,
Or
what
tiara.
meeting is this for?
I don't know. Dan, what do you think?
Just the 11th. That's just before Christmas.
So we'll have to have the cookies.
Or the 18th.
The 18th.
Oh,
Well, the winner will be announced on the 18th, so we would have to have the cookies in by a certain time.
Oh, I see. Get them in before the meeting.
Right, and then
And
they
then
can,
I
and
was
then
thinking
we can,
bring
and
them
then we can
to
have,
the
we can have an announcement of who is going to be coveted with the 2025 Christmas cookie champion.
This is gonna go big. I can already. This is gonna
Might
be
even
such
get-
a-
challenge accepted.
This is a blind,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
oh, of course.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we
the Great
could-
British
Oh,
Baking
blind
Show,
taste
you
test.
can't
Yeah.
know who made what.
Oh, I like it.
Is there going to be one judge?
No, you're all
All
going
of
to
you,
judge.
everybody weighs
We'll,
in.
we'll put them all in a box and we'll
I
label
see.
them A through whatever, right? No, no FU or FD or FO. You know, maybe we should just use numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't tell
I don't
them
know, I'd be
who-
offended
which
by that.
number is which. We don't want to offend it. And these will be holiday cookies. They will not be Christmas cookies.
Good.
I voted
Good.
Holiday cookie challenge.
Holiday cookie challenge.
Okay,
That's good.
all right,
We'll work out details and I'll send out more
Okay,
about that.
I'm excited.
excellent.
Anybody have
You're all
anything?
going down if I involve my
I-
daughter's help, just saying.
Ooh, you're gonna bring a ringer.
Did you want to mention anything about the land use regulations or the changes?
Yes,
Or
we would like to, thank you. I would like to have us review the policy as it relates to land use regulations. I feel that that policy needs to be re-examined.
The policies that were presented,
or the
The-
change of the bylaw
the changes.
changes?
Okay,
So we have to hold a hearing at some point, and you guys kind of decided
After the
after
holiday.
the holidays. And then, so we just need to be mindful of that at our next couple of meetings, maybe scheduling that, but take another look at the changes. They were in, I could send them again separately.
Also put on the agenda the, well, I'll talk to you about after. There's a policy I want to have brought up, that I'd like to have the board, look at.
Okay.
Anything else?
Also on the 4th, I'll put the question Bob was asked by the Jericho board or select board chair about having someone participate in their meetings regarding wastewater. So I've got a conversation I need to have with someone about that. And I'll bring that up at the 4th, on the 4th.
okay.
We also have a petition that's been submitted regarding a non-binding article for town meeting. That will be on the 11th. We'll present that because that's when the person is able to come. But we've accepted the petition. The petition is valid, has a correct number of signatures. But I will prepare something. I'll have something prepared for you to help me
Okay,
Okay.
thank
with
you.
that. What else was there? Guess that's it.
Yes, you got some?
I do. So it's in my blood, I guess, how I was raised, that when somebody does something well or good, that we share it and recognize people. And it was brought to my attention today of a group of people that did, I'll say this as easy as I can, that did something pretty extravagant. And one of those people is a member of our select board. And that's Bob Stone. And if anybody's ever heard of the First Tool Green Cross Award, probably never have, but First Tool is a brand of power tools for extricating patients from cars, vehicles, whatever, during an accident. And back many years ago, I received this award or certificate in recognition of saving somebody's life. So I may not have all the details, but I think I have enough of the details that were brought to my attention. But we have some members of the fire department and of the community. One of being Bob Stone, my oldest brother, Randy Clark, Honorary Chief Matt Champlin, Assistant Chief Sean Martell, Chris Parker, Katie Forsberg, and some other area fire and EMS members. But I believe it was back in May. I remember the call because I heard it on the radio while we were working. But there was a very serious car accident in Jericho on Route 117 where a young high school student was clinging to life. And it's a busy morning with low manpower for the pararescue community. And those members I mentioned, and if there was others, I apologize. But they extricated this young man from the car, which got him to the ambulance and to the hospital. I'll leave it at. Apparently, they gave him a 0.4% chance of surviving. As a parent, it's hits. But this past Tuesday night, that young man and his grandmother attended the fire meeting and thanked those folks for saving his life. And I think that needs to be mentioned, and these people were recognized by that system. But I just think, as especially Bob being a member of the select board, and they may not always get the praise they need, and they go to a bunch of crappy calls and fire alarms and CEO calls, and they may say not good things about them sometimes, but my God, when they need it, you're there. I think Bob deserves a round of applause along with his other members.
Anything else? Hearing none. Dan, it's your favorite time.
Well, I'd move to adjourn.
I second.
And it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are adjourned at 7:53. Thank you.